Whether we like it or not, the truth about the matter is our constitution has become a Sharia constitution, whether we like it or not. That's the truth. The 1999 constitution is a Sharia constitution. Because I mentioned in one interview, there are up to 73 mentions of Sharia in that constitution. About 28 mentions of Islam in that constitution. About 10 mentions of Muslim in that constitution. There is no mention of Christian or Christianity in that constitution. That means these Christians don't exist in this country. That is the truth. We cannot shy away from it. And the National Assembly members know this. But the problem with this country is that we have cowards in position of power who, even when they know the truth, are unable to speak out and say, gentlemen, this doesn't suit the so-called secularity of the Constitution. Our Constitution is not secular. Our Constitution is a Sharia Constitution.
You believe, sir, Dr. Pogu Beatrice, that there's a Fulanization or Islamization agenda for the whole of Nigeria?
Certainly.
You believe this?
100%.
Our guest today is Dr. Beatrice Pogu, President Middle Belt Forum. Now let's get right into our conversation, and we'll start on a political note. Last Saturday's FCT Council polls has been won and lost. Give us your general assessment of this exercise.
It was an exercise that reflects the mood of Nigerians. Let me give you an example. We know Oluwade was won by the PDP. All other councils were won by the APC. The APC holds government in the FCT, since the minister of FCT is somebody who represents the APC in the FCT. But of interest is what happened in Oluwade. The APC, for whatever reason, fielded a Fulani man who is not from here, in Oluwade. The Bagis and the natives decided it is not party now. It is us and we need our representation. And rather than voting for APC, they all went for PDP, and therefore PDP won. Now this is a message to Nigerians. If proper electioneering process takes place, you will see the right people coming into office, the choice of the people. So, to me, it's a message to everyone in government that you cannot just toy around with the people. People will go for who represents them in an election. So that's the message I picked out of the election.
Now, in a video that has gone viral, the FCT minister, was openly saying that only those who support the president would win elections. That's one. Secondly, he also said, people should come out and vote, and then they should leave the rest for him. He knows what to do, to make sure the result goes according to his expectation. So, if you put all of this together, were the elections, a predetermined result, predetermined outcome, or does it reflect the wishes, of the voters?
If it was predetermined, Wike wouldn't have allowed the PDP to win Oluwade. Wike, Wike for grandstanding. He talks a lot and boasts a lot. He did his homework, influenced people to even step down for his APC candidate before the election. That was why he was able to boldly make those claims. Not that he did those things at the election. Those things were done before the election. But yet, in Oluwade, the people did what they wanted. They went and voted for the person who they felt would represent them. So politicians have to learn a lesson. Whatever influence one has, whether the person has a money bag trying to buy people, consciousness is there in the polity, and people will go for what they want. Where the APC won, the people, in spite of all that was done, they felt those candidates represents their interest. That's why they voted for them. And in Gogolada, that's what was reflected. After the election, the OEDA chairman, that is Original Inhabitants Union in the FCT, who is a member of the Middle Belt Forum, told me they are happy with the election and the outcome because his people did exactly what they wanted. So in that regard, I have no reason to doubt what happened.
I think lastly on this issue of the FCT election, you said everybody accepted. Not quite so, because the ADC candidate for AMAC, whom you referenced earlier, Dr. Moses Paul, I think I got the name right,
Yes.
has been in the media, has been going around the media to allege massive sabotaging, of the results outcome. That's in their own situation room, by IREV, INEX IREV portal, the results are uploaded, onto IREV portal, that he was in a commanding lead, 28,000 or something, to 17,000 to the next person, the APC candidate. So that he won the result, he won the elections. But that, like I said, being alleged, the results were, manipulated at the collation center. So he's like I said, he's everywhere in the media saying this is not, the outcome, this is not the wishes. What is announced by INEC does not represent the wishes of the people, and he will be proceeding to courts to challenge. What do you say to this?
He is free to challenge, but it raises one important thing.
Yes.
That the electoral system we have is still faulty. Dr. Moore, who I personally know, because I met him with his team, said, good luck before the election. He has avenues to challenge these things in court. And we pray that our courts will be up and doing with those evidences to give him what he deserves. But the important and fundamental question, given this as a test case, is the system of transmission of results using manual transmission, that is returning officers, etc., going along with the so-called the electronic transmission, is faulty, and the passage of the electoral bill now even creates more problems than before. As it is, if Moore goes to court, because we know him as Moore, Dr. Moore, which of the evidences will be taken in precedence? Will it be the electronically transmitted or the pictures of results displayed on the IREV? Which one would have precedence in court? So it creates a confusion. So what we should now start demanding based on what happened is that there should be only one system which Nigerians can trust. That is the electronic transmission of results. Any other thing is subject to manipulation. People can write results and upload, and that creates a problem. And even at that, as I said, if someone goes to court, which one has precedence? Will it be the electronically transmitted results or the manually collated and displayed on the IREV? So Nigerians should start to demand, not to request the National Assembly to do the right thing. Let all results be electronically transmitted real time, so that the views and aspirations of the people will be reflected immediately. You can see what is happening, and you cannot change the result. So in that regard, this is what we should take away from the elections of AMAC, the Saturday elections of AMAC. And we should start insisting that whatever has been signed is not good for Nigeria. What is good for Nigeria and right for Nigeria in this century is that electronically transmitted results, real time, should be adopted as the norm. The excuse that there may be absence of network or whatever should not be accepted, because there is no part of this country that is not covered by one service or the other, provider or the other. And all results can be transmitted real time as it happens. And Nigerians should insist on that. Even if it takes Nigerians seeking assistance from wherever to ensure that the right thing is done, let it be done.
But the question now, sir, as we round up on these FCT Council polls, is that if we cannot conduct free, fair, credible polls for FCT councils, as small as it is, just 5 local governments, 6 local governments, is this a test case for Nigeria in 2027? What do we expect in 2027, Dr.
If the electoral system
Yes.
is adopted and kept the way it is, since Mr. President has
Signed it.
we are in for still another confusion. What has transpired, if it is true, would reflect in the main election. So, I still repeat, Nigerians should insist that our mode of election should be such that transmission of results should be electronically and real-time done from the polling station to the final collection center, so that Nigerians can see in real time what is happening. The real results, the real reflecting the wishes of the people should be seen and the right candidates elected to represent us. If that is not done, our problems remains the same. People will continue to impose their will on the electorate, which is unacceptable.
Brilliant. So let's switch gears. To the average Nigerian watching us now, because this is going everywhere, what is your definition of the middle belt of Nigeria? Is it merely a geographical creation or a political arrangement? What is it?
Thank you very much. All the nationalities, we've already defined this, all the nationalities in the north, who are Hausa, Fulani, or Kanuri, who are independent of the Caliphate and the Sultanate of Borno when the colonizers, that is the British colonial government, came to Nigeria. We are the Middle Belters. I'm from Chibok. We were conquered not by the Kanuri, neither in Borno, neither by the Kanuri nor by the Fulani of Adama, because the Caliphate didn't get to our place. It was the British that conquered my people. We were independent of these groups before the colonial masters came into this country. That's why I'm a Middle Belter. And go across the Middle Belt, the nationalities were different. And when the British came, they realized these groups were different. But they thought, how do we control these groups? And they introduced something that worked in India, indirect rule. So when they conquered my place, February 1907, because they came in 1902, our people gave serious resistance, they couldn't do it. They had to come back 1906 in November. The history books are there to verify. And having conquered my people, divided the land, part to Adama, part to Borno, and we became a colony of Borno, under Borno Emirate. The funny thing is, after Nigeria became independent, all those legacies of colonial indirect rule remain the way they are. So up to now, Borno posts district heads to my place. It's not supposed to be that. We are supposed to be in free Nigeria. Yes, we are supposed to be in independent Nigeria. My people are not supposed to be under Borno Emirate. The southern part of our territory was given to somebody in 1921 after they were brought back from Adamawa to Borno and attached to Biu at the time. Today, great-grandson to that person, who naturally is not from Borno, not even from Borno, not from our nationality, but we've adopted him. He's a first-class chief in our territory. So the issue is every nationality in the Middle Belt who are independent of the Caliphate and Sultanate of Borno before the British came are the Middle Belters. We were either animists at the time or Christians, not Muslims. Islam came into the area and started growing with time. We are both Christian, Muslims. There are some few animists still amongst us, But that's who we are. That's who we are. We didn't say we want to be part of the North. We were co-opted by the British. And even at that, proponents of the Middle Belt movement started, along with proponents of the minority movements from the South, to demand independence from the colonial overlords placed by the British. We had the South-South people agitating, the Middle Belters agitating, and as a result, the Willings Commission was created in 1957, in September, to look into our plight. The result was, in the North, the penal code came into being, Sharia was not installed on people, and the Sardauna was able to galvanize support, even among the Middle Belters. The story is different today, because today we have up to 12 states in the North who are not running the penal code, but who have full-blown Sharia and imposing it on everybody. Anybody who tells you that Sharia only applies to Muslims is a liar.
Brilliant. Let me throw two quick questions. Number one, the understanding of Middle Belt is usually Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, FCT, Niger State, Kogi, Kwara. But now, when you say Chibok, that you are from, I'm actually stunned that you are from Chibok, because I know Chibok was where we had the Chibok kidnapped years ago. And that's in Maiduguri, Northeast. So is it right for you to describe yourself as being a Middle Beltan?
Thank you very much.
And that's one. Secondly is you've often corrected people who say the Middle Belt, not to lump the Middle Belt under the general, either Arewa or Northern region, that the Middle Belt is separate. Why this? Can you respond to this?
Thank you very much. When before the agitation for identity started, late 40s, early 40s, 50s, and the agitation led to the creation or establishment of the Willings Commission that looked at the plight of minority elements from the North and from the South. There were people from the Northeast who were pioneers. For example, one who stands out was Jonah Asadu from Numan. He was part of that movement. It was for that same reason. Areas that could not be covered by the United Middle Belt Congress, which was in partnership with the Action Group, was covered by the Action Group. My area was covered by the Action Group. My father was the leader of Action Group in my area. It was through that movement that Ibrahim Imam, on request by the late Sardauna, got a seat elected around Boko to represent people of the Middle Belt. So the Middle Belt was not confined to the Benue, Plateau, whatever they say. People were consulted, and even in the map they drew at the time, the only dispute they had, which they didn't clearly define, was Southern Bauchi and Southern Gombe at the time. Kaba and parts of Kwara were part of the negotiation. So the map, if you get the map, you will see it covered the whole of Naija province. Southern part of that is Zazau of Kaduna, Plateau. And then you will see broken lines in the map, covering southern part of Bauchi, southern part of Gombe. And then the map goes with real line covering the area of Chibok and the Margi Pela. The Margi Pela are the people of Uba, Askra Uba now. So even then, we were part of it. The map shows it clearly. And where the UNBC didn't cover, Action Group covered. And as I told you, my father was the leader of Action Group. I was sent 2 Land Rovers, 2, to my dad. Both of them seized by NPC in Maiduguri. You can see that political violence didn't start today. It started a long time ago. That was in 1959. I was a young boy, just getting to school age. But I knew. I saw it happen.
Now, some claim that the Middle Belt Forum is a religious organization, that you're actually hiding under, this political platform to pursue, or champion a religious, agenda for so-called Middle Belt people. How do you respond to this?
Thank you very much. When the Middle Belt movement started, As I told you, they were both animists and Christians. These animists, of course, majority of them converted to Christianity. Lots of them became Muslims. If your brother is a Muslim today, because I have brothers and relations who are Muslims, do you deny them because they are Muslims? No. So the Middle Belt Forum covers everybody within the region. If somebody comes from Sokoto, Katsina, or wherever and settle on my ancestral land, does it become his land? No. It's still my ancestral land. He came to settle. So for anybody to come and say, Middle Belt Forum was a religious group, and so it has to be a religious group and religious district. Yes, the proponents who started were both animists and Christians. Muslims are found in the Middle Belt. They are our brothers. My vice is a Muslim. The forum has both Muslims and Christians. We don't have animists anyway, because everybody has associated with one religion or the other. And along the line, if you trace, there were times when Middle Belt leaders were even Muslims. That is the chairman or president, as we call it now. Saraki, the late Saraki, father to the former Senate president, was a Middle Belt leader at one time. So we have had Middle Belt leaders who are Muslims, Middle Belt leaders who are Christians. I don't know whether some of the pioneers were animists, but people from the northeast, from the north central of today, from the northwest of today, because Zuru, Yauri, and all that were part of Naija province. It was the Irikife panel report that took them to the northwest. They had no business with them. They were not part of them. They are called the Dakar Kari, people who eat dogs. They are Middle Belters. We are not ashamed of our history, sir. And so that's what we are. Yes, if majority of us are Christians, we cannot deny the fact that we are Christians. I'm a Christian. I have brothers who are Muslims. I have relations who are Muslims. We help them to go to Hajj. We've not denied anybody. But what we will not do is a true Middle Belter will not carry arms as a jihadist against his brother.
Now, this is a very delicate situation we're discussing, and I want us to be very, honest with the people listening, because there are indigenous, I'm sure you agree with me, there are indigenous people from the Middle Belt who are Muslims. You said it yourself, that some converted to Christianity, some converted to Islam. Now, if the Middle Belt as an organization now says, we don't want Sharia, but the indigenous Muslims say they want Sharia, how do we deal with this?
Yeah, that's a very teaching question.
Yes.
Because Sharia allows cutting of somebody's hand if he steals. I'm just giving you an example. Beheading people who are not Muslims if they don't want to accept, and some other rules. Within the Middle Belt, that will not be accepted. I'm sorry to say that. You want to impose such rules on others who are not, but who don't believe in what you believe in modern world, it will not be accepted. The problem we are having here, sir, where I come from is predominantly Christian. Go to the villages, you hardly see a mosque. If you see any, to be a small room by side of the person who is professing to be a Muslim. Even you go back to the girls who were abducted, out of the 276 or thereabout, only 17 were Muslims. Majority of those ones were not even from Chibok local government, from the neighboring local government. And then you now say, because we are part of Borno, you have to impose Sharia on us, which Zulum is doing. I'm saying it to his hearing. Because in November, some people were drinking their local brew, Burkutu. The chairman went and packed them and locked them up at what they call Tandari Correctional Center in Maiduguri. Had to find a lawyer to go and bail them. Whether the chairman accepts or not, he was trying to appease the governor in the Sharia kind of thing, because there's no law in our constitution that stops people from drinking their local brew. So if such communities exist, we'll tell them it wouldn't happen here. So this is the problem we have today. Whether we like it or not, the truth about the matter is our constitution has become a Sharia constitution, whether we like it or not. That's the truth. The 1999 constitution is a Sharia constitution. Because I mentioned in one interview, there are up to 73 mentions of Sharia in that constitution. About 28 mentions of Islam in that constitution. About 10 mentions of Muslim in that constitution. There is no mention of Christian or Christianity in that constitution. That means these Christians don't exist in this country. That is the truth. We cannot shy away from it. And the National Assembly members know this. But the problem with this country is that we have cowards in position of power who, even when they know the truth, are unable to speak out and say, gentlemen, this doesn't suit the so-called secularity of the Constitution. Our Constitution is not secular. Our Constitution is a Sharia Constitution. And that is where we have problems today, including the insurgency in the name of Sharia.
On this issue of the Constitution, in your words, saying it has become a Sharia constitution. Is that not stretching it too far? Because, hold on, sir, because the Nigerian Constitution, in fact, our Constitution derives from the English common law system, which is basically, from the Judeo-Christian, canon laws. That's how English common law was formed. And then all the protectorates of the British Empire copied it, more or less. So if they needed to, specifically mention aspects, for Sharia, for Islam, for whatever, just to, assuage the yearnings of majority, because whether we like it or not, Muslim and Christians are almost 50-50 population in Nigeria. So is it not stretching it too far to say the Nigerian...
Do you know the figure? You don't. Right from independence, yes. Let me put it to you.
Yes.
Who are the people who always opposed to having religion as a demographic index in all the census we've had? It was Muslims. Christians always wanted it to be there so that people will know who are Christians, who are Muslims, how many Christians exist, how many Muslims exist. So the issue of 50-50 or thereabout is in the head or brain, not on paper. It doesn't exist on paper anywhere. I said this. Listen. I said this in one interview I granted recently. In 2006, when Obasanjo conducted the last census, after that there has been none. Khan decided that, listen, this time around, we should have religion as an index on, the population brochure or whatever it is. Who opposed it? Our Muslim brother. If they know they are majority, sir, or even they know that it is 50-50, they would have accepted. You will find the Muslim populations in around the roads, cities, etc. Go to the hinterland. You will find everybody all over the place, including even in the Muslim states like Kano and all that. So the problem here is the population of Christians and Muslims is unknown. We cannot just be saying 50-50. That's one. Two, that same year, when it was rejected, said, why don't we use church demography to at least have an idea? How many Christians, at least in the north? Do you know what they got? 46.3 million. If in the north alone there are 46.3 million Christians, do you think Muslims are more than Christians in Nigeria? Just use your brain. So the issue is we are living in false demographics and with using false demographics to determine populations in Nigeria. And many of these populations which were conducted, that is in the censuses, a census officer will be given a target to write names, whether he likes it or not.
You have a proof for that, sir.
So the issue, I participated in one, so don't worry. The issue is we don't know the ratio. The thing is, yes, when you are in the north, the people who call the shots are the Muslims. Christianity doesn't teach a Christian the way to overpower to override, to dominate anybody. You are taught to be subservient to government in office. Islam is not like that. Islam provides for governance, provides for a judicial system, and here is where we are. So, sir, things have to be reflected the way they should be. Let's have electronic transmission of results. Truth will now stare people in the face. That's why many people don't want it to happen. Because you will see that in some states, here is Nasarawa, Muslims are not close to even, maybe if they are lucky, to be 45%, if they are lucky. Go to Kogi, it's the same thing. Go to even Gombe there, hardly will they be more than 50% if they are. So the issue is, in Adamawa there are even more Christians. Are you getting me? That is, we are talking of religious demography. But that is not the issue. The issue is, let people be administered the way they want to, if we want to live together. But if people want to impose their will on others, as it is being done, because prior to 1999, all those Sharia in the Constitution was not there. It was Abdul Salam who brought it in. The IOC thing, it was Babangida who brought it in. When Gawon was there, did he try to do such a thing? No, the Penal Court agreed and accepted by the leaders in the north. The Sardauna was the one in operation. Christians never complained. Now, everybody is paying for it, including even the Muslims.
Let's leave that. Maybe we'll come back to it. You've been a very outspoken critic of the insecurity. Most Nigerians are anyway. The insecurity that is ravaging the entire country, but particularly Middle Belt, Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, mass killings, horrendous killings. You've condemned it. So, in your view, sir, what do you see? Is it that the federal government is overwhelmed, or is it a lack of political will? Because this issue has refused to abate.
Thank you. The people who are sponsoring insurgency in Nigeria didn't just wake up and then became insurgents or started to sponsor insurgency. It started and grew till when we got Sharia into our constitution. According to Sharia, Muslims will have to be the lords. You will have to submit. I will have to submit. Muslims who don't believe in that violence have to submit. There are rules. So since Sharia came in, insurgency in real time came in because they have the right under Sharia to convert the unbeliever.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Pardon me. The aspect of Sharia, the Constitution allows, correct me if I'm wrong, it is in the cases of inheritance, marriage, marital issues, disputes.
Those were the penal court thing which Sardauna had.
Yes.
The Sharia today.
Yes.
Why was Leah Sharibu taken out of so many girls?
That was not a big
Hold on. Why was the lady in Sokoto stoned to death? It's Sharia. So there are so many things that have happened which we can refer to, which are Sharia compliant issues. Many things have happened. Why do we have a parallel police system in Kano? It is because of Sharia. So, if you are in Kano, even if you are an Igbo man or whoever, and you want to trade your beer, you go and smash it. If you are lucky to go away alive. That is Sharia. So, sir, anybody who deceives you and said the penal code which we had, which the Sardauna accepted as a means of accommodating the Middle Belters then because of the Willings Commission requirement, is not what we have today. What we have today, adopted by the 12 states in the north, is the true Sharia. And where they want and when they want to implement, they implement. Even states that are not as aggressive Not long ago, was it about 2 years ago, my governor in Borno went to and said any hotel that they think was a brothel, quote unquote, whether how do you qualify a place, they smashed it and destroyed such plots. Churches are not allowed spaces in some areas. So what is that?
To own land.
Yes. So what is that? It is Sharia. So you see, we pretend, that is the problem with this concept. We pretend to be running a secular system in the north. It is no more that way. And this insurgency would not be there without Sharia. When we had the penal code, there was no such insurgency. There was no such aggression. There would not be somebody coming with a gun and say, Allahu Akbar, and attack others. It wasn't there. Under the penal code, it wasn't there. Under Sharia, it's there. And we cannot deny them. It is for the others to wake up and say, look, if you want to practice this, you have the right based on your religion, but you can't impose it on us. Let's think of a way of coexisting with this. And what is happening, or what is going to happen next? These people will say, let's part ways.
When you made mention to a couple of people who were, lynched, lynched, set on fire, and said it was because of Sharia, I was trying to disagree because I know the Sharia process will be, you take the person to face a Sharia panel, and then there'll be witnesses called, just more or less like a regular trial court and all of that. But that was not the case. That was what I was trying to correct. It was just mob justice. Yes, maybe influenced by radical clerics. So I don't respond to that. But let's go back to this insecurity. I've had northern leaders. Dr. Akibaba Ahmed is a highly respected northern leader, a Muslim, highly respected intellectual. He attributes the insecurity from the north largely, preponderantly, and I tend to agree with him, to misgovernance, bad governance from governors, local governments, and all, even the presidents. Do you disagree with this?
Yes, people in power directs and determines what their people do. So in that regard, you can't disagree with him.
Do you disagree?
No, I said you and I too can disagree with him. Because if those things that initiated the Boko Haram insurgency didn't start from the political circle, allowing them to do what they did, it wouldn't have exploded to where it is now. And that is true, because leadership determines what the followership does. Good. Fine and good. Even those who are attributing so many things to Ali Sharif, I look at Ali Sharif as a saint compared to some people who came after him. Because though Ali Sharif negotiated with a religious group, which was at dead not Boko Haram, they were a religious group to assist him wrestle power. It was later they became Boko Haram. But how did they become Boko Haram? The same Ali Sharif went after them when they insisted on Sharia. He didn't want to be Sharia compliant at the time. So to that extent, I tell some people, I don't see Ali Sharif as
Ali Sharif.
Madu Sharif as the man who started this thing. Yes, he negotiated with these people to assist him to wrestle power, which they did. But he refused to implement Sharia. All the same, he had his own militant group, but nearly all governors also have theirs to ensure that they win election. So, sir, without the constitutional backing which we had in 1999 Constitution, many of these governors in the north will not declare Sharia. That is the truth. Because they believe now with Sharia, rather than the penal code in the Constitution, they can declare Sharia in their states, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can go to court, they will tell you Sharia is in the Constitution, and they have the right to practice their religion. Those then who went further to say, yes, in this system, we are allowed to persecute those who don't adhere to Islamic norms, and Christians don't. These things wouldn't be there, sir. So let's be plain and straight. We have reached a stage in this country where you cannot stop these people from practicing their religion. And it has been started in the Constitution. Sharia is there in the Constitution. 73 mentions. You can go and cross-check. There's no mention of Christianity or anything to say that you exist in the first place in the Constitution. None. You can go check people who have gone through the Constitution. So the issue is, how do we navigate away from this source of problem? Because it is already there. It is in the Constitution. And governors who have introduced Sharia, Hizbah, etc., will say that Sharia is in the Constitution and you cannot do anything about it because they are Nigerians. How do we navigate out of that? That is the question.
I'm sure our viewers will struggle, especially northern Muslims, will struggle to agree with you. Because I'll go back to the issue of bad governance, failure of leadership, according to Dr. Akim Baba Ahmed, according to pretty much everybody I've sat with. And I've been on this for years now. Sir, 20 million plus children out of school on the streets. You see them everywhere in the north. Children of school going age on the streets.
Yes.
Those are the ready supply, the recruitment source for all these bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, insurgents, name it. Do you agree, sir?
I agree.
There's no primary health care in anywhere, any villages, no primary health care in almost all the places. Look at primary schools. So poverty, sir, look at poverty. Poverty in the north is like 10 times worse than the rest of Nigeria. I could go on, reading out these horrific statistics. So I go back to it. Is it fair to just narrow down on the issue of Sharia as the lone causative factor for all these problems?
Thank you. The practice of taking children, handing them over to malams or to these mullahs to train, to travel
rather than taking them to school.
Listen, to travel with them, blah, blah, is still part of the religious practice. You don't go to my village, you will not see a beggar on the street with a ball in his hand. It's shameful in my tradition to even have someone who is physically challenged, whether even mentally, to see him on the street begging. Because in my tradition, it's a taboo. You keep your weak and feed them till they die. So, it is the practice in northern Muslim areas, and it is as mentioned, and as we agreed, that yes, bad governance has something to do about it. However, let me put it to you. The politicians depend on these clerics for support. They support a person to become a governor. When they get to the seat, how many of them have the boards to now say, you cannot carry children around and travel with them begging here and then? How many of them? So in that respect, we'll say, yes, bad governance. Then another thing, people are producing children who they cannot support. You and if, I don't know whether you are Christian or Muslim, you are confined to have one wife. And how many children you can take care of? In Islam, you can have up to 4 wives. According to the rule, if you can take care of them equitably. Nobody cares about equitably. Produce children, you cannot take care of them, hand them over to the malam, and the malam travels out. They learn menial works, go around Abuja, who are the nail cutters, who are the cobblers. It's all this kind of children. Many of them have gone to school, many of them have not. Now, an alternative education has not been provided. Jonathan tried to establish Al-Majiri system schools. Go to those schools. Are they being occupied by Al-Majiris? You will find out Al-Majiris are not there. So, sir, it is not just government. Jonathan tried, but the system resisted. The system resisted. So, if these boys are used as cannon fodder for insurgency, it is not just government, it is the system.
Dr. Bitrus, let's make progress. we all witnessed the horrific atrocities in Mangu local government, Boko's local government, Bakinladi local government, where entire villages or communities were wiped out in what many have described as genocidal, including yourself.
Yes.
Yet, we have evidence that those villagers alerted security forces that this was coming, these people are coming.
That's correct.
And yet, security forces, conveniently did not show up before, and while those atrocities were being perpetrated, they didn't show up until after the entire place was decimated. Then they showed. What's going on, sir? How do you explain this?
There's complicity within the security forces. Simple. Not, I mean, nothing other than that. You see, the people who sponsors and who sponsored this thing when it started know where they were, the level things have reached, to the extent that they can do something and even protect the aggressors. When General T.Y. said that they are colluding, you remember that quote? I mean, there was evidence, because insurgents who were killed, their telephones were probed, and they were in contact with security officers while they were operating. That is to show we have accomplices within the security forces. And that is why when people are being attacked, some instruction will come from above, whoever it would be, to ensure that these people receive the worst kind of treatment before the security forces would come. That is one. Two, even after the attack, while lamenting, rather than coming to assist in some cases, we have lots of records, the security forces would come if any of their children decides to even fight back. They will be arrested. That is, the victim is now being victimized. This has happened over and over again. So the issue is, the system is already rotten. And thank God, the present government, having received the pressure from the US, has allowed the Americans to assist and collaborate with our government to ensure that this thing is halted. But the major work is for you and I to do the needful, rather than chickening out and pretend. Because sometimes when I hear people who know, who even suffered genocidal attacks in the area, saying that there is no genocide, I do laugh. There is genocidal attacks on Christian communities to displace them. In the Northwest, there is genocidal attack against Muslim Hausas, indigenous Hausas. The jihad which started in 1804, took over power. That is traditional institutions. But the land remained in the hands of the Hausas. Today, the Hausas are also being killed and dispossessed of their land. So it has become multifaceted, but all the same. You look at the history, whether at how Islam started, it is the same trend, sir. It has not changed. So with Sharia, whether we like it or not, that's what will continue to happen, unless it is crushed. Negotiation will not work. Anybody who say non-kinetic, that is the funny terminology I've heard. Somebody who think that, one, if he kills, and if he dies trying to kill for his faith, he's going above to meet some beautiful facilities beyond what he gets here. It's here, it's in the mind. You can't change him through some non-kinetic something. He is out there to either kill or be killed. If somebody would voluntarily go and blow himself up just because he feels he's going to be rewarded, how do you solve the problem through some non-kinetic approach? So the issue is, this thing will not stop unless it is crushed.
Sir, Kwara State used to be a very lovely place, beautiful place, peaceful, actually, peaceful state. Even when all this insecurity was raging everywhere, Kwara, essentially was peaceful. But recently, sir, we have begun to see spate of kidnappings and insecurity, which culminated in the recent one in the Woro community, where a massacre took place, mass kidnapping took place, and all of that. What is going on, sir? How do you read this? What exactly? Because
they are moving down south. You don't have to worry. They feel much of the north, including the middle belt, is being covered, where they have not been able to cover, and it's becoming a bit tough. Move away from that and continue. From Kwara, it will go further down south. It is not going to stop at Kwara. Are you getting me?
You think so?
Oh, certainly. Unless it is crushed. It will not stop at Kwara. It will go down. And, sir, if you go and probe, you will find out that people in Kwara will be part of accomplices in the carnage. The issue is, yes, going by what our former president said, as the President Obasanjo, he said he summarized the thing as Fulanization and Islamization.
He said so?
Yeah, Fulanization.
President Obasanjo?
Yes,
President Obasanjo.
yes.
Are you sure, sir?
Oh, certainly. You can Google. You will find that statement. Fulanization and Islamization. Now, whether you like it or not, it is not only Christians that are attacked in this process. To succeed even in changing the narrative, or that Owo place, where majority of them were Muslims. Were they Fulanis? Were they Fulanis? They are not. They can sacrifice people just to change the narrative. So the agenda continues, and it will not abate unless it is crushed. Anybody who tells you that that agenda would subside through some negotiation is just deceiving you. Unless it is crushed, it will continue. Let me now digress, because I watched what the first video production by late Shekau, if he is late. Shekau said after the bombing of Gadabu in Jos, I got the video, I still have it. He said in Hausa, we are the ones who conducted this thing in Sultania, the place called Plateau or Jos. We did it because what you hear is not as much as what you have seen. Because our people have been killed. He mentioned Zongo Kataf and so many other places. And he said they are not fighting a political war. They are not fighting for money, but they are fighting a religious war. Though unfortunately, he ended up telling us, maybe because he's not smart, that it is a political war. Then he continued. He said, it is a war between Muslims and Christians. And then he warned Muslims that any Muslim that assists an unbeliever in the war should consider himself dead. Are you hearing me, sir? Any Muslim who assists unbelievers in the war should consider himself dead. So if Muslims are being killed in the war, that's one reason. Two, he continued and said it will not end, as a summary, because he said some other things before that, till Islam is the determinant of governance in Nigeria. It will not end till Islam is the determinant of governance in Nigeria. So will it stop? We have not gotten there yet.
So let me ask you pointedly.
Yes.
You've scattered around it all this while. So let me ask you directly.
Yes.
You believe, sir, Dr. Pogu Beatrice, that there's a Fulanization or Islamization agenda for the whole of Nigeria?
Certainly.
You believe this?
100%. Today,
What evidence do you have?
thank you. Christian communities are being attacked and wiped out, chased, and occupied.
What about Muslim communities?
Hold on. I told you about the Muslim communities. It's the Hausa community. The 1804 jihad, which started in 1804, took over the traditional stools of the Hausa. The land was still in the hands of the Hausa. Today, the land is being taken away. So that one is Fulanization because Hausas are being replaced by Fulanis. The Hausas are also Muslims.
But
some of them, listen.
Even in Borno State,
Listen.
Borno is not taken over by Fulani.
Listen to me. The Boko Haram started as a Kanuri thing.
Yes.
Muslims from the neighboring tribes, including even some in the Middle Belt tribes, got convinced that they were fighting jihad, Islamization. Are you getting me, sir? So when they come and attack someone in Bokos, kill some of them, chase others away, who occupies the land the next time you go there, you will see Fulani herdsmen occupying the place. Islamization. So they are moving step by step. Now, you go to your Kwara, which you are talking about. The debate now and what is at the front burner is Americans coming in. The argument is that whether there is genocide against Christians. Go and wipe away some Muslim community. Then you say, there's no genocide against Christians. It's all the politics of the same thing. Those people are not Fulanis. They are some minority tribe in Kwara. So you see, some people think others are not smart. So that thing Obasanjo said is true, it's going on, and Kwara is just a window from Kwara to go into the southwest proper. The southeastern, let me just finish. The people who have resisted so much entrance to Islam are the Igbos. We fought the Civil War. People didn't understand the game at that time. Even Middle Belters were at the forefront of the fight. Till later, why are Igbos being targeted? Is it just because they are Igbos? Or is it because they are successful and they are, prospering in the north? Or is it because they are Christians? Today, because things have changed, the north is saying, if Igbos want to leave, let them go. Maybe because they feel that place may be impregnable. So, sir, we understand what is going on. We're not a bunch of fools. At least we've gone to school.
These are very serious, allegations.
No, it's not an allegation. Even Baba Ahmed said, rather than fighting a war, he said it. It's there on this YouTube. You can go and Google it, find it. He said, rather than fighting a war, if any part of the country want, then let them go. Let the Igbos go. It's there. The same Baba Ahmed.
Yes. But what you attributed to former President Obasanjo is still debatable because I know him very well to be a core nationalist, and I doubt if he would make that. But let's make progress.
No. Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Google, you'll find, if you have access to him, ask him whether he made that statement or not. Yes. I have said it over and over again because I know it happened.
Okay. Let's make progress, sir. Quickly, I know you mentioned it earlier, but I want to ask you a question from it. General T.Y., 3 years ago, thereabouts, he said it openly at a function in Jalingo, that if you don't rise up and defend yourself, that they will be wiped up, all of you will be killed, because the military, some elements in the military are colluding with the killers, the terrorists and bandits, and all of that. Sir, have we come to a place where, because some are openly advocating for it, for communities to openly arm themselves? Because if we call security and don't come, have we gotten there now?
Don't worry, we should have been there before now, not now.
Really?
Yes. You see, the issue is, there are areas, even Islamic countries, where the first line of defense is supposed to be the community. And we wanted it to be in an organized constitutional manner.
Yes.
That's why we advocated for state police, local government police, etc., etc. If my community has a small police unit, maybe 100, 200, that would defend and keep law as a third tier of government, they will not allow some miscreants from somewhere to just go and come and override the place, because they will be attached to their place to defend their people. That was why we said, let's have a constitutional thing rather than saying, let everybody arm himself, so that we can have state police, county police. Some people are saying, yes, the governors will use state police to do one thing or the other. Is the federal government not using federal police? And didn't we have something similar to state police before? We had what we call, before 1963, the NA police, similar to what we could call a state police by now. I mean, now, if we were to have it. The county then were more like local, government, because they were provincial entities. Today, such provinces have become states. Some have become even 2-3 states. So it is necessary if we want to address this issue, because we have seen examples, sir, where a village with just some few hunters and double-barrel guns standing against these people with rifles, and they run. They defend their villages. So if people are armed, they will be able to defend their communities. This nonsense happens because they have the arms and others don't. If others are also armed, they will not dare, because they are also afraid of dying, in spite of the fact that some of them feel or are convinced that the hereafter would be better than the now.
You're a devout Christian, I presume. And even though when we started, you were speaking, you sounded like you are in support of the incumbent government. But I want to ask you this question. Based on insecurity that we have spent so much time talking about, the economic, malaise, the living standards have been totally destroyed. Does this government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, does it deserve to be re-elected?
Thank you very much. As an individual,
As a good Christian.
No, we are talking first as an individual. Then I'll come to the Christianity. When Tinubu was coming in, I opposed him. I raised up the hand of Peter Obi at Jos, at the stadium, that this is our candidate, because we disagreed and still disagrees with the Muslim ticket. But in spite of all the problems, which started with Buhari, I see in Tinubu, he's also as nepotic as Buhari. But he didn't tell lies when he came in. He said he will follow in the footsteps of Buhari. So if Buhari practiced nepotism, he is also doing nepotism in favor of the Yoruba. But
Yoruba people will disagree, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, you can disagree, but whenever there's a change in guard in any place, he loads more Yoruba than others.
Negotiation, just say negotiation.
Yeah, but they're Yorubas. Don't worry, they're
Yorubas.
Yorubas. It doesn't matter whether they are Lagosians or they are from Oshun, they're Yorubas. Now, in spite of that, I'm from the Middle Belt. I believe in the Middle Belt agenda. And replacing Fulani with Yoruba, that is their business. But what I see is he has more will, that is as the president, in fighting insurgency, as I see it. His economic policies, whether they are paying off or not, I see in him as a person, somebody who at least has the balls to be able to challenge some things. Unlike President Jonathan, who we gave all the opportunity but couldn't carry things out. I believe that if Tinubu comes back, he would ensure that we have a constitution that would work for Nigeria. I believe that. I also believe in restructuring, and I believe he has the capacity to do that. So as we are talking, sir, I believe not in APC, in Tinubu, that Tinubu has the capacity to do what I believe he can do to right Nigeria. Now he's afraid because he wants to be re-elected, and he's trading with caution. But knowing that, yes, the insurgency has become a hydra-headed thing, he allowed the Americans to come in to partner so that the thing can be addressed. Buhari would have never done that. So to me, I see in him somebody who know that he has a bad past. I'm not saying he has a good past, but he wants a better future for Nigeria. That's what I believe. So, this is me. Now come to the Christian thing. Yes, I'm a Christian. No doubt about that. My late dad, who was killed by Boko Haram, was a Christian.
Your father?
Yeah, he was a Christian. So, I come from a local government that's predominantly Christian. If there's anybody who is suffering from Sharia, I would say me. Because if you go to the statistics, even a local government that's up to 80% Christian, all the ward chairmen of APC are Muslims. The chairman, which is usually picked by the governor, is always a Muslim. Now, if it is federal election, the Muslim will not win. But it is state election, he imposes what he likes and it stays. So, sir, I don't shy away from who I am. I am Chibok. I'm a Christian. I'm a middle belter. And at any given time, I will tell you exactly who I am, what I believe in. I have Muslim brothers. I tell them, this is what I believe in. This is who I am. If they come to me for support, I give them if I can. If a Christian comes to me to give support, I will give him if I can. I will not discriminate, but I will not allow or shy away when a Fulani man or a Kanuri man impose his will on my people. And because he's a Muslim and I'm a Christian, then I should stop telling him the truth that you are doing so because you are a Muslim and you want to impose your Islamic ideas on me or on my people. The people who suffer in the Middle Belt are both Christians and Muslims. And Middle Belters are where we are because of the indirect rule that placed us under these people. And it has not been abrogated after independence of Nigeria. And that is why we are still agitating.
Sir, I doubt if many Nigerians listening to you would agree that President Tinubu, if you seem to have endorsed him, and I don't think many listening to you would agree with you that he couldn't do a lot of things until he comes back in his second term. Because he has done quite, sir, hold on, sir. He's taken quite some very tough decisions.
Yes.
Removing fuel subsidy,
yes.
Previous presidents tried it,
yes.
and pulled back.
Yes.
In fact, President Buhari did not even attempt it at all. Jonathan tried 2012. This same president was one who mobilized against it. But here's the deal, sir. President Tinubu was in support of restructuring. He's been there now 3 years. He has not done anything about restructuring. As little as state police that you talked about here, he has not done it. The argument from informed circles that if he comes back in 2027, he will go back to France and just stay there, like Paul Biya of Cameroon, and be visiting Nigeria occasionally and go back to France. How do you respond to this? Quickly, sir.
You mean the National Assembly will be so docile and will not be able to impeach?
Are they not docile currently, sir?
Everybody, listen to me, including even the passage of the electoral bill.
Yes.
It's because some of them know how they went there. Some of them know.
In fact, that's the next question.
If the papers cannot be adjusted,
yes,
to reflect what they want, they will not be there. Tinubu is an individual. And I believe he also has those fears. He will do what he can do now, and he will do what he believes in when the time comes.
You think so?
If this person who you are talking to was part of Nadeco, don't you think he has some balls? During Abacha, he was one of the principal characters of Nadeco. Don't you think he has balls and he believes things have to be done some other way? But when you are there on that seat, because you and I have not been on that seat, the first thing you start thinking about is, how do I sustain this? More so that, yes, you have lots of accusations of baggage you came in with. You will have to think of survival first. And then you think of what to do next. Human reasoning. So me as a person, I've watched. The people who are crying more are my brothers from the north, the far north. And if, let me put it this way, I don't have enemies, but there's this adage, saying, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Tinubu is fighting with them. They are fighting Tinubu. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. Even for that, I would say, Tinubu, continue. Because if by halting all this insurgency that is ravaging Nigeria would make Nigeria move forward, I will support him, sir. Because the Middle Belt has suffered. We don't want this thing to go beyond where it is. Let Tinubu partner with whoever it is. Now it is Americans. Let Nigeria be a better place. Do you think, let me ask you this question, if these same Americans see that this Tinubu, who they have partnered with, will just turn around to be something else, do you think they will leave him? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
They will not.
I don't know, sir. Let's round up, sir. Has President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has he strengthened or weakened democratic practice in Nigeria by his conduct, his behavior, his policies?
Yeah. That's a teaching question. But the truth remains that he has not strengthened democracy. I'm part of the Patriots. We went to him. What we wanted was, we know that the 1999 Constitution has problems that is bedeviling Nigeria, and that structure has created lots of problems than solutions. We said, let's go back to the People's Democratic Constitution of 1963. Take a cue from there, because all the other constitutions were military constitutions, which started with falsehood, we the people. It was never we the people. It is we the military. So we told him, sir, do something about this constitution. The 1963 Constitution allows for regions, blah, blah. We had 4 regions. We don't subscribe to those regions. However, we said we have 2014 Confab report, which was quite representative. We can use it to update the 1963 Constitution and use the same criteria, that is plebiscite or what we call referendum, to determine whether or not it is acceptable to Nigerians. And we can have what would be operational, what would work for Nigeria. He didn't buy in. He delayed because he feels it's going to create problems. Jonathan was also afraid. He wanted the second election. It didn't work for him. He lost. So what we are saying is, yes, in that regard, and even in signing of this faulty electoral bill, which we still want amended to ensure that electronic transfer of results real time is the solution, is this fear of the same thing. Fear that if there is no room for manipulation, will he still be there? So, sir, that fear to me is unfounded. If he does the right thing, Nigerians will support him. And we are appealing to him. Tell the National Assembly, let this transmission real time take place. Some riffraff coming out there will say, yes, this man has the balls, he can transform Nigeria, he will get the votes.
Brilliant. Historically, the Middle Belt has been the beautiful bride when it comes to general elections. You know, whether the western part, they will cut the Middle Belt, or the northern part, they will cut the Middle Belt. That's been the historical antecedent of the Middle Belt, a very strategic role you play in determining winners or losers of elections. Even though in your own words, you said, last election you raised the hand of Mr. Peter Obi, but you didn't win. Maybe you won, we don't know. Who are you supporting? Who is the Middle Belt? Not you personally, the Middle Belt. Who are you pitching your tent with?
The Middle Belt would take a decision very soon. We were to have a conference at Akwanga where we would sample opinion. Delegates will come from all the states, and we'll sample opinion and we'll take a decision. That could have happened earlier. It didn't happen, but it will soon happen. Okay. And when such has taken place and a decision made, that will be the position of the Middle Belt. It will not be my position. That was why when I was saying, I believe in this man, I said it is I, not the Middle Belt. So when that time comes and we all sit down, with delegates from all the states, which we call Middle Belt, come and we take a decision, the whole of the country will know that this is where we stand and this is the person we are supporting.
Give us a scenario, sir. How do you think 2027 elections will play out? How do you think it will play out from your own experience, knowledge?
It all depends on this electoral bill. Let's be frank, we are Nigerians. We shouldn't pretend. It will be difficult to knock off the president because in the system we operate with the fact that the system is not foolproof. Even if whoever polls whatever results, given the electoral bill we have, you cannot defeat Mr. President. With this kind of electoral bill we have in place, we shouldn't lie about it. However, if we are able to achieve electronic transmission of results real time, then so many things could happen. It will depend on what he does, which the people will determine whether, yes, should we elect this person or not. Of course, I told you the Middle Belt will take its decision very soon. And when we take our decision, we will tell our people this is where we are going. Some people say we are just a socio-cultural group. Middle Belt didn't start as a socio-cultural. It started as a socio-political group. That's why they even had United Middle Belt Congress as a political platform. People should know that. And we have not departed from that position.
Brilliant. Last question. If, let's envisage that there is a mandatory electronic transmission of election results in Nigeria.
Real time.
Let's just pray that, let's imagine that is the reality.
Yes.
Can President Bola Ahmed Tinubu win a free, fair, and credible polls in 2027?
He can win where people like I hold sway. Because we'll tell our people these are the benefits if this man comes back to office. It will also depend on who he will contest against. Because all those ones are determinants. Nobody knows who he will contest against. That would also determine whether or not he comes in or comes back. But with the system, I've already given you the answer. If there is real-time electronic transmission, cut off all those returning officers, cut off all the manipulation of results, Nigerians will determine whether this man will come in or not. The Southeast will determine whether this man's coming in will be beneficial to them or not. The Southwest will determine. Remember, in 2023, Lagos voted Peter Obi rather than him. Yeah. Today, it could be a different thing. So, we should not start making assumptions. His performance beyond where we are, in spite of the what you are saying, the poverty, food is cheaper now than ever before. In fact, farmers are the ones crying because a bag of maize has gone down to as low as 18,000. So people will now decide, will this person be of benefit to us if he comes back? Our brothers in the north are used to benefiting from the overbearing influence they have. Many of them, listen, they say they regret the Muslim ticket because Tinubu is something else. Now, while they are now saying that, our people are saying, hey, yes, it means this thing has worked, not because of the Muslim ticket, but because of Tinubu. So while some are crying, some are saying, Tinubu, get on with it. So, sir, let's wait. The result will be evident based on what is on ground.